Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It's Wednesday, April the 17th, and we're talking NBA today with Mr. Sean Higgs. I'm Ross Benjamin. And again, folks, we're both of gamblersworld.net, which is our sponsor site. Be sure to check out gamblersworld.net. Not only myself and Sean Higgs, but also 8 other great handicappers there right now. And by the way, MLB annual package you can get for $6.95 for any one of us. And also we have an NBA playoff package, which is $195, and that will take you right through the NBA finals. And you can get that right now by simply going to gamblersworld.net. Our single game, multi-game daily packages, subscription plans of 3, 7, and 30 days, all guaranteed. If you don't win, you don't make a profit. We will credit your account back the exact amount of your purchase price. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, folks. It's the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel. Just hit that black subscribe button or hit that WC logo in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen if you're on your PC. And while you're at it, go into your YouTube settings and click on the alert notification bell for the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel. And don't forget, give us a like, folks. It's always a good thing. It's a token of your appreciation for the work, time, and effort we put in. It makes us feel good and certainly makes our sponsor feel good, which is gamblersworld.net. Sean, how are you?
Pretty good. Okay, Lakers got it done for us yesterday here. And how about the honorary Jesse Schule defensive battle? He got 2 unders from Jesse.
Yeah.
Although he's not here, he's with us in spirit. And he talked about the unders, and I'll mention it again today. Take the unders, folks. They're playing game. It is playoff basketball as much as it's participation trophy time too. But yeah, I don't know. Here we go.
Yeah, participation trophy time. Again, the Philly-Miami game is interesting tonight. Those are 2 quality teams right now. Philly's a lot better than the record is because they were, no Joel Embiid for a while. I'll talk about that shortly.
Yep.
But in any event, also keep in mind, folks, that the Atlanta and Chicago game Sean will be covering, that is a participation trophy game. There's no 2 ways about it. 2 teams with losing records, and arguably the only 2 teams part of this play-in tournament that really don't deserve to be there. You know, I had my 5-game win streak end on the show yesterday, as I had Golden State, and Sean, it looks like it's the end of an era for the Golden State Warriors. I mean, they got blown out at Sacramento, eliminated from the postseason after having a really hot stretch run down, and especially on the road. And boy, oh boy, I didn't see that coming. But in any event, Sean, any of your thoughts of what we saw last night?
Yeah, well, like I said, I thought maybe, all right, the road record's better. Maybe the home team sat guys out. But you saw, I mean, everybody's playing. It's a playoff. So,
yeah,
winning on the road is still difficult. And you looked at how they had the last 3 games versus these guys were tight back and forth like close games. So somebody gets up, somebody battles back. You figure there's going to be that 5 to 10 point lead someone's going to have, and then it's going to get close, and whoever has the ball last will probably pull out a win. I was not expecting like total domination like that.
Yeah.
That was just, what is there to say? I don't know what, going forward. I saw, I think Twitter, somebody posted their contracts, or they have like 175 million that their payroll is, and that's, listen, you can't bring Clay back. He's got to go. I mean, Draymond Green's a little past his prime. I mean, Curry's there forever. I don't know what their game plan is going forward. They need a total rehaul. They got to do something. I mean, this conference we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
All the teams in there, we thought maybe the worst ones were maybe the Kings and the Pellies out of them all, right? When you looked at total roster stuff like that, things past, present, however you want to look at, like the Lakers and Golden State as older teams. But that's a stacked. What's Golden State's game plan out there? What? Yeah, they got some work to do. They got some tough decisions. They might have to be a bottom tier team for a little while before they clear up some payroll.
And a lot of good young teams. You know, you look at Minnesota,
OKC right at the top, the number 1 seed.
You look at even New Orleans. I mean, New Orleans yesterday, in all fairness, and I'm, congratulations on that win yesterday with the Lakers, but they lose Zion Williamson with 5 minutes to go. He
Yep.
gets hurt. Well, what else is new, Sean? You know what I mean? Yeah, we talked about the Clippers yesterday. We can almost count on somebody getting hurt. This kid cannot stay healthy. He did lose 25 pounds. I get it. I'm not sure what the exact injury was. I haven't looked into it because I was so disgusted with the result. But I mean, they lose by 4 and they play without him in the last 5 minutes, and
Yep.
he goes for 40, in the game. Now, you have to question if he doesn't play. They're going to be at home against who will he be playing tomorrow or Friday?
Kings, right?
Yeah, Kings on Friday, and it's not going to be an easy game if they don't have Williamson. So, your thoughts there?
Yeah, listen, the weight loss, as a big guy, I'm gonna tell you, you lose a couple pounds, it always feels good for you, and I'm not running up and down the court carrying people with me, so,
Yeah,
him missing will definitely be a problem for that game, and, the Pellies are basically a pick 'em right now, I say pick 'em
yeah.
216.5. Kings gonna go. They got like Sabonis in there. They got some size. I kind of want to lean to the little Kings there, just because of the
Yeah, I mean, does
Zion
that
news.
line tell you anything in regards to, in your estimation, whether they think Williamson's going to play or not? I know one thing: when a guy doesn't finish a game, and especially over the last 5 minutes of a game, in a game that's that tight, in a game of that magnitude, it's not a good sign for his availability in the next game. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just using my educated guess.
Yeah, because if they would have won, they would
Yeah,
have like a not bye week, but they'd have
yeah,
a day of rest or whatever. So you figure want to tough it out. Again, anybody leaves the game and doesn't come back in a, I don't want to say it's one and done, but it was a one and done. I
yeah.
mean, like you could either go into a loser bracket where you're gonna get kicked out, or you advance and then you have a best of whatever, really best of sevens now. I don't even know. They used to be best of threes. They went to fives. I don't even know what these. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I'll probably be on the Kings this Friday based on that and just the way they played the Kings. And I said this on one of the shows. They lose to like bad teams, but then when it's time to play the better teams, they seem to bring their best. They bring their A game, and they sure
Yeah.
heck brought it last night. I mean,
And keep in mind, folks, New Orleans has lost their last 6 at home. They've been a terrific road team this year, and especially down the stretch. But they're home for whatever reason. They're home and away splits, again, a sign of a young team. When I see that kind of stuff, but we've seen a lot of that. I mean, Miami, the same thing. We're going to
yeah.
be talking about them shortly. I mean, they're a better road team than a home team, Sean.
Yeah, it's odd, but again,
Yeah.
I think my thinking on that this year was you couldn't sit out on the road; you had to sit out at home. So my my
Yeah.
my guess is if guys were going to take their load management days, it was a home game, and a team's going to come in and catch a win there, and that was just the way it is. Because you see, a bunch of teams had decent road records, and that was. I mean, I don't know if there's any proof to that. I didn't go
It's
through every
certainly
game and be like, who
there's
sat, but
right.
that's my thinking on
I
it.
think it's a great point. I really do. I think that there's a lot of credence to that. So we'll see. Anyway, Sean, tell the folks a little bit about how you've been doing of late, what you may have coming up in store this week over at gamblersworld.net.
Yeah, well, do have NBA. It's playoff time, so we will jump into the NBA with these first round matchups. Hockey, I did have a hockey loser the other night, and I said I'm kicking myself. Why did I jump in? I've been trying to avoid NBA and hockey the last week of the season with all this nonsense because I just don't jump into it enough to know all the circular
Right.
wheel. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to playoff basketball. Who's seeding this and that, and I should have known better. And I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I got hockey playoffs in a week. We got NBA playoffs, and of course Major League Baseball. So that's that. I got 3-pack up of baseball right now for today and day action. So go get that.
All right. So Sean Higgs over at gamblersworld.net, folks. And if you like a volume of play, Sean's your guy, and he exercises very good money management along the way in terms of the volume of plays he puts out. So
Yeah,
we rate
baseball.
our
You'll never get one like we're unloading today. I got a bunch of games. You're playing the same. They're small faves, underdogs, anything plus money run line. They're not. We're not coming in here and we're taking the Dodgers minus 380 and they lose to the Nats as a favorite. We're not doing stuff like that. It's all
yeah,
a lot of plus stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, we do that on our own, okay? And I'm not an advocate of it either, but you don't need us for that. And I don't mean to criticize anybody else, but I have a very strong feeling in that regard. Now, at the end of the day, there's guys like Jesse who will put out a 160, 170. He wins at a very high percentage, okay? And if you look at the top of the standings at gamblersworld.net, Jesse's the top money earner right now. So there's exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, I would be very leery of guys who want to give you a consistent diet of minus 160s, minus 170s,
And
and
he's
higher.
also not giving 6 of those out a day either. He's
No,
giving you,
absolutely
you
not.
know,
That's why what I was referring to is
you go
that.
you go 3-1 every week, or 3-0, and then 2-1. You're going
Yeah,
to be hitting 67%. So we get,
yeah, exactly. So that's where I was going with
yeah.
that. Not giving that consistent diet of those types of plays out. All right, so getting to me, my NBA playoffs since 2022. I lost last night. But it's still 50 and 31, 62% since 2022 in the NBA postseason. Right now, my NBA totals are on a 7-1 run. My NBA side since last April 11th are 78 and 52. That's pretty darn good as well. And all sports right now on a 39 and 27 run. And all basketball plays, college basketball, NBA combined since March 19th, 33 and 18, which is good for 65%, folks. So a lot of good stuff from me, a lot of good stuff from Sean over at gamblersworld.net. Be sure to check us out. And you can be reassured that if you don't win, you don't make a profit when investing in either one of us or any other the 8 great handicappers over at gamblersworld.net. We will credit your account back the exact amount of your purchase price. And like I like to tell you every day, that's not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of confidence, knowing that if you catch us on a bad day, we're going to be able to make you money over the long haul, regardless who you choose at our great site. All right, Sean, Chicago and Atlanta right now. The game will be played in Chicago. Not only Chicago ends up with a losing record, but they actually play a postseason game at home. And they're a short 3-point favorite. The total here, 222 and a half. Chicago, to me, they won 2 of their last 3. I don't put a lot of stock in their wins against Washington and Detroit, but I was really impressed the way they played Sunday against the Knicks in a game. They were a 14-point underdog in a game they were playing for nothing, and the Knicks needed to win to have a chance at the number 2 seed, which they ended up with. And they took the Knicks to overtime and lose by 1. Atlanta, on the other hand, had nothing to play for. And they played like they had nothing to play for on Sunday in a 157-115 loss at Indiana. What's your take on this one, buddy?
157 on the road. Listen, okay, the Bulls show up and give a little battle, which, again, last game of the NBA season, you had 10 double-digit favorites, ridiculous kind of craziness. The Pacers were a 2-touchdown favorite over the Hawks. Listen, the Bulls had a losing record at home. Both of these teams are sub 500 overall on the season. I'm gonna go to Atlanta. I'm gonna take the points with Atlanta just based on I got 2 teams that are gonna be kind of carefree. Atlanta's gonna come out and just fire threes, and whether it's college basketball or the NBA, a 3-point shooting team, they get hot. You got a puncher's chance. You got better than a puncher's chance, especially a team that fires it up at the rate that the Hawks do. Right? I mean,
If I could interject for a second, Sean, and I don't mean to be rude and cut you off, but to your point, Atlanta, 3 meetings against Chicago this year, 42, 42, and 44 3-point attempts in those 3 contests.
Yeah. I was gonna say, because they're like number 6 in the league and making them. They're gonna fire away. And what do you have to? You're in the playoffs. Let's do what we got to do, guys. Who cares that we lost? I mean, in fact, they lost 6 in a row, and you 157. That's like losing like 54 to like 19 in the NFL or something. You drop a 150, a 150 plus. That's a big number. Even today's NBA standards, that is a big one. The 133s were kind of like, wow, this is kind of high, and they are. You're getting to the 150 ranges. Holy cow! No, everything says let's take the Hawks to me today. Money line this puppy for 125, I guess. I'm taking the Hawks. Let's go Atlanta.
Well, let's give them Atlanta +3 against
Yeah, let's take
Chicago.
3. I don't get too carried away here.
Yeah, let's not get
I don't
into it.
mind taking ugly dogs, and this is definitely one of them. A team that's dropped 6 in a row and has like 19 wins on here, whatever, like that, 25
Yeah,
wins. Just
yeah. And you know
no, I'm
what?
sorry, 36 wins. I'm sorry, them back.
Yeah, and Atlanta, like you said, they gave up 157. They also allowed 65% shooting in that game. For whatever reason, Indiana. I mean, again, I'm not making any case for Atlanta being a good defensive team because they're
No,
not. But in their three or four games versus Indiana, I think they gave up over 150 twice, 140 on another time. In every game they played Indiana this year, they gave up. They allowed the Pacers to shoot 60% or better in all four of those games. Indiana, to me, is a team to keep an eye on, folks. I love the way they finish. If you watch them play, they have defensive liabilities. And I don't mean to get off track here, Sean, but just your thoughts in general. They share the ball extremely well, and they're extremely athletic. They could shoot the ball. They have some interior presence. But, again, we'll see. But your thoughts in that regard, and I'll get on to my game.
Yeah, well, I mean, I took the Pacers. Hey, you're getting a play, folks. We had them at 3.5 on the site, and now they're a pick 'em because Gianni's out there. No Johnny. Giannis is out for the Bucks. But even before that, I don't care.
Yeah.
First of all, the line was 3 anyway, which was like kind of like a little odd to me. It's still the Bucks, and they're a pretty good team. But under Doc Rivers, they're under 500. Let's get rid of the other guy who won a title and was 17 games above. This guy comes in and they're under 500. I can't back Choke Rivers. This guy, even if they got up 3-0 in the series, I'd be like, wow, we got him right where we want him.
Not only that, since he took over, they're no more than a 500 team, right around there.
I think they're 17-18 or 17-19 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, it's not like they had a great record. I mean, how do you think this guy they fired? Adrian Griffin. Yeah. How do you think he feels?
He won a title with him. Didn't he win the title?
Yeah, they were like what? I don't know, 32-14 when they fired him, and they bring in Doc Rivers and look.
You're not winning enough for us. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, now I mean, Monday, if you caught our 2-minute short here with me on our channel, I gave out the Indiana Pacers as a series pick at +180 against Milwaukee, and then since that time, the news comes out with Giannis that he may not be available for the whole series, I guess. But in any event, they're down to +105 now, Sean. So that should tell you something.
The Bucks hadn't played well down the stretch. They haven't played well since Doc Rivers take over. They're not just going to turn it on. I mean, you can see the finger pointing starting with this team.
I love the way this Indiana team plays. I'm just not so sure they can make a deep enough run because of their liabilities defensively, but they certainly play extremely entertaining basketball.
Good matchup for them to start.
Yeah, it certainly is, isn't it? So, I mean, they have every chance to advance in this series. There should be no excuses. Do you know what I haven't looked into it any further. Obviously, game one, he's out, but the availability of Giannis be in that series as a whole?
No, well, I mean, I'm guessing he's questionable for game 2 as well. I think definitely the first 2 games, which would explain the
180
series price.
105.
The price drop just tells you that.
Yeah, that would lead me to believe that he's
out.
They don't know if he's going to be out for the whole series.
Yeah.
So it's a
shame.
Even
if he plays, how healthy is he? I mean, then again, I don't know. Embiid comes back and the guy's putting up 30 and 12 every game.
I'll be honest with you, Sean. I mean, obviously, I took him at +180. Even with Giannis healthy, I would have took Indiana in the series.
I agree 100%. I mean, what have the Bucks shown you the last 2 months? Again, they were 30 and 12 or whatever they were, 31, and they're 500. So don't tell me they're going to. Oh, the playoffs here. Let's go back. No.
All right, let me get to my game. It's the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat. I do have a winning total on this game at the site right now. I also have a winning total on the Chicago-Atlanta game up at gamblersworld.net. So you want to check that out, folks. Invest a little bit of money to make a lot. I just told you my NBA playoff record, 50-31 since 2022. That's good for 62%. All right, Philadelphia right now. Since Joel Embiid has returned, he's been on fire. So is the 76ers. 8-0 straight up in ATS in their last 8, winning by just shy of 14 points per game. And, Sean, Bottom line is, like you said, how hurt could he have been? Well, I think they held him out to the last possible second until he was 100%. And the other part of the equation here is this is a game. Whoever wins is going to avoid Boston in the first round. So it's a lot more important game than your atypical 7-8 game where the team who loses knows they got a home game coming up next and still a possibility to make the playoffs with a win. Miami, on the other hand, when they fall into this line parameter of +3 to +8, which they are right now at +5, the Heat is 0-4 straight up in ATS in their last 4 in that role, losing by 11.5 points per game. What's really been impressive with Philadelphia down the stretch in this 8-0 straight up in ATS run has been their defensive play, especially so in their last 7, in which they've allowed 104 points per game and held opponents to 42% shooting. Matter of fact, the Philadelphia 76ers, folks, 6-0 straight up in ATS in their last 6 as a home favorite, and holding opponents in that role to 99.2 points per game. So not only are they getting it done on the offensive end of the floor, they're playing stellar defense, and we know how important defensive play should be considered when you're handicapping an NBA playoff game. Philadelphia off a 118-103 win against Toronto in the regular season finale, and for what it's worth, the 76ers are 8-2 straight up in ATS at home this year, following a win by 14 or more. And so I'm going to take, and I'm not crazy about this, okay? So let me clarify this. I'm 5-1 with my last free picks, 6 free picks on the channel. But this one is probably one I would put in the bottom tier as far as how much I like it, because Miami's dangerous at playoff time. Jimmy Butler is a cash player, and Eric Spoelstra always gives them a coaching advantage over whoever they're facing at playoff time. But I'm still going to have a small lean here on Philadelphia -5 over Miami.
I like I'm with you with the Heat coach. You always get an edge there. But Nick Nurse is pretty solid himself.
Not bad.
You know, better than what the Sixers had in the past. I grabbed the Heat at 4.5 the other day because I like, well, it's playoff time. It's tough because we're just talking about the Bucks. Like, they're gonna turn it on. But on the same time, we've seen Miami go on runs like this in the playoffs before, and it's the same kind of group of guys. You got Harrow's, Bear, and Butler, and Bam, and these kind of guys that aren't whatever for whatever case, however it works out, they do kind of battle it out a little bit. Yeah. The Philly does scare me because the way Embiid has played recently, and just the Sixers as a whole just kind of turning on here down the stretch. Like, I hate going against it. I'm already grabbed a little Miami action, but like, I don't know. It's just they
don't hate going against me, Sean, because bottom line, I don't love the game.
I know.
I
get it. It's just I don't know. It's like, Philly has these wins down the stretch, but all right, you beat Miami 109-105. You beat the Thunder when they were missing guys. Other than that, like the Heat, you beat a bunch of nobodies. You're beating, to Toronto. I mean, I don't know. I'll take the points and see what happens. I think it could be close. You know, if I don't see it being listen, if they come out and pull a Sacramento King game and win this one like 119-105, you'll be like, wow, all right, Philly's definitely
look
at the Celtics a run here.
Think about this. Whoever wins this game, and this is the importance and the drastic difference between winning and then, okay, we lost, but we're going to play on Friday and we win that game at home, then we're moving on, meaning the loser of this game.
Yes.
The difference is a first-round matchup against either Boston, the number 1 seed, overwhelming choice in the East, and to win the NBA championship, and playing the New York Knicks, who is the number 2 seed. Now, nothing against the Knicks. They finished strong, but I don't think we'll get any argument from anybody.
How bad are you think the Knicks are like, wow, they're a real tough team, and then you got to face someone like the Sixers, who should probably be the 2 seed, or maybe the 1.
Right.
That is just totally unfair. That's like something.
It's look at Philadelphia is not a number 7 seed.
No,
even
Miami, I can't look at it as a bottom team. I mean, you want to put Miami in the middle a little bit, I get it, but playoff time, they're a little different kind of.
But Miami, to me, is a little bit disappointing where they finished, because they weren't without a star player. In Philadelphia,
Exactly.
I don't have the splits, but I'm assuming it's a drastic difference with Embiid and
Oh,
without Embiid,
yes.
right? So, yeah, that's where we're going. All right, so our official picks. I'm going to take a very small lean for me on Philadelphia -5 over Miami. Sean, he has a lean the other way, and that's okay. And Sean likes Atlanta +3 against Chicago, and I mean, again, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to cover that game, and so it's the
We're
right.
taking the firing offense of the Atlanta Hawks. I'm telling you, Dominique and Kevin Willis will be unstoppable for them.
And
Watch out
whoever
for
wins that game is going to be a substantial underdog against the
Stacey
loser
Augman.
of. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all right, we'll see. So there we go, have it. I'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, with Doug Upstone and Chip Chirimbus. We'll be talking more NBA playoff action for tomorrow, and also Sean will be back with me on Friday for our live show at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be joined by Doug Upstone at that time. Normally Jesse's with us, but he's been on vacation. He'll return next Monday. We miss him, but Doug is more than adequate in terms of filling in. So look forward to that show. And again, folks, don't forget to give us a like and don't forget to subscribe. Until the next time, for Sean Higgs and Ross Benjamin, take care and God bless.
Smash the like button.